I'm here this morning giving the other side of the story, and one of the people that I'm just about to interview is the perfect example of a person who gives the other side of the story. Truckie from the People's Revolution has done all the protests in Brisbane the last 18 months. He's an absolute inspiration. Truckie, is there anything you can tell us from this morning? Because like Telegram and a few other platforms and stuff like that, it's a bit confusing what was going on. So if you've got any insight on that?
Yeah, so for about 6 months there's been an event planned on the 31st, which seems to be a Karen Brewer initiative. That was more about a silent protest, walking into government buildings and, if the demands are met, pretty much taking them over. So the truckies contacted me a few nights ago and said, we want to stay clear of that. That doesn't align with what they're doing. I said, that's cool. So this is what happened, right? They told me they had 35 trucks as an inside group. 35 trucks were going to do the first blockade and then other trucks would come join it. They said they had enough food in their cabs for 3 weeks and they were willing to stay there. They were committed to stay there for 3 weeks if necessary until our demands were met. So I said, cool, I'll put my name on this. If that's what's going to happen, I'll put my name on this. I'll support you with the people. What we saw today was not what I was told was going to happen. Only 3 trucks were there. No more trucks came. And after about an hour of the blockade, the truckies decided to drive off. And that was pretty much where it ended. And I'm still fuming. I'm not going to make any accusations. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but what I got told is not what happened. And I know a lot of people came out today. They've taken days off work. They've made sacrifices to be there. So I'd like to thank those people and also apologise. If I had known it was going to turn out this way, I definitely wouldn't have requested people turn up. It would have been something different. We have to back to the drawing board. I'll speak to the truckies later on and find out exactly what's happened and why it actually played out that way, and we'll have to try and come back better next time.
Do you think they were scared off in any way, like police, or they had some threats that will lose their jobs, or any idea what happened there?
Well, they were saying at the start, there's a possibility of people losing jobs, and that's part of the sacrifices that people need to make. So it sounded like they were committed to the cause. There was police presence there. Pauline Hanson was there making a speech, and then she actually requested the truckies move on. Now that was not the game plan. The game plan was to sit there as long as it took to have our demands met. Now, when it comes down to it, the People's Revolution had a list of demands. We put our logo on it. Now, we don't align with One Nation in a lot of stuff they do. Some things we do. And now more than ever, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So we thought, look, these guys seem like they're trying to help the situation that we're trying to help. We can work together on this. So we presented them with a letter of demands that were going to be made to the Premier and the Prime Minister. It had the TPR logo on it, the One Nation logo and the Truckies logo. As a draft, they didn't want to be part of that. So when pen goes to paper, it's a different story. 18th is the next worldwide rally. So that's the next big one, and hopefully we'll have, the numbers at those rallies have been good, really good. We're packing the house. But as I said, and as I keep saying, there's no use turning up on a sunny Saturday if you can't back it up doing those midweek actions that are really important. That's where we start making ground up. It's nice to sit in the park with your friends, and we can all do that very easily. But you've got to make sacrifices, and there's going to be risks involved in those midweek actions. But that's where the numbers have to be. That's where we really got to start putting our numbers. If there's a lockdown on, defiance of the lockdown. That means people just turn up. That's what happens in Melbourne's. For the first time in 18 months, the July 24th, Melbourne had that many people in the lockdown protest. They just walked straight through the police. They took control of the city, and that was probably my favourite moment of the last 18 months in the whole of Australia, was that the people of Melbourne finally getting together as one and just saying, look guys, we're here, move out the way. And that was awesome to see, and that should be inspiring.
Cool. Thank you very much, Truckie.